art and we're talking about art and the ephemeral. That was my idea for tonight. And it just occurred to me that I just felt like it was important to look for some work. A lot of it's because I just scroll Instagram all the time and I save paintings or art that interests me. So I have a huge collection of them and I could just go through them and put together something like this. That's where most of it came from. Except I looked at it's amazing what you can find just by a simple internet search, and that's how I came up with this. But I thought was captured the theme for tonight. There's a hint in so much art. There's often just a hint of something elusive and mysterious. So let's look at my idea of what that might be. And this is an artist I'd never heard of before, Jeff Gola. It's a detail of a beautiful oil painting, and I chose it because it seemed to really capture that time of maybe morning, maybe late afternoon, the sunlight moving across the snow and the sense of how ephemeral snow is at this time of year, right? It's not going to be here long. Finally, we're ready for it to go. And this painting seems to capture that feeling to me. A feeling of the time lingering and passing. And in addition, it's just a beautifully executed oil painting. Now, this is an artist I've never met her, but she's a friend of mine in California, Eleanor Ray. And we're going to be talking about her in Modern Painters Wednesday night. So I found a good interview with her and I sent it to the students. And then I just happened to come up with something else popped up about her. So I did a search on her work and just grabbed one of her paintings. Oh, I found an article that I later sent it to the students on Modern Painters, but I found another article that's talking about a new trend in the New York art galleries towards small paintings. So her paintings are very small, 8 by 10 or smaller. Eleanor Ray, and I was I was relieved to find out that there's a trend away from these huge paintings they've been showing in New York for a couple decades now, at least. And I mean like 10 by 12 foot paintings on canvas that, you know, if you want to be seen in New York and recognized, you pretty much that's what you have to do. And it just got to be ridiculous, because you could tell these people, and you know, to do great big paintings like that, you have to have a great big studio, and then you have to have a great big pile of tubes of oil paint, and the canvases alone are going to be a fortune. So I just got really irritated by it because not everyone can afford to do that. So you get these people, they're featured in the magazines. More often than not, a young, attractive woman doing these gigantic paintings in a loft in Manhattan, which is at least $5,000 a month, and being shown in major Hauser and Wirth type galleries. And they're all big abstract paintings that I see have no coherence for me. So suddenly they're showing nice, sweet little paintings like that. That's such good news. You like the painting?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
here's something. Okay. I know I went on a diatribe there, but
Tell
Oh,
us what you
they're cute.
tell us what you really think, Charles. What you really feel.
about this painting?
No,
Oh, all right.
about
I love this painting. I love her work.
no, the New York art scene. I love it. I love that you were going on a rant about it.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Glad you're here, Patrick.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me.
So yeah, I love this work. I love, you know, it's part of a kind of painterly realism thing that I think I came out of when in grad school, especially. It had a lot to do with the California students that came to Iowa. Um, and this friend Deborah is friends with this woman Eleanor Ray, and she's getting good recognition now. So you should look her up. A lot of very sweet little paintings. I love that little bird on the top, don't you?
Mhm. It's funny, it matches the top part of that post.
It's what?
It matches the top
It
half
does.
of that
It's an
post.
interesting way of being part of it, doesn't it? Not just the
Yeah.
color, but the width of the bird.
Yeah, yeah.
Let me just say this about the composition. If you try and imagine the whole composition without the pole and the bird,
Yeah.
it's all horizontal lines and the pole breaks the rhythm. So
Mm.
It would
my
lose a
daughter
lot.
said it would be nicer, but then it would be kind of more linear and boring. The pole is very mathematically placed there.
Mhm.
Yes. Yes. And also the fact that the pole's leaning a little bit.
Mhm.
If it was a true vertical, I don't think I like it. I like it leaning. Okay. This is an artist I knew to be Stephen Palmer. He's in the UK, shows at a gallery there. And I just think it's a landscape painting, but it verges on abstraction and just a really nice broad handling of the paint, perhaps applied with a knife in places. And it has a feeling of something. There's a specific place and time that the painting has because of the light, because of this kind of brisk handling of the paint. And look at that stroke, especially I love that brush stroke on the lower right of the painting that it alternates between a dark green and a light green. Do you see that?
Mhm.
And I just love looking at that stroke of paint.
What stroke?
And the lower right, there's a green line that moves from the left to the right out of the trees.
Yeah,
It's about I don't know, an inch or so above the bottom.
yeah,
And it alternates between dark and light,
yeah. Gotcha.
breaks up.
Yeah, breaks that space up.
Yeah, just a beautiful rhythm that line has.
Yeah, rhythm. Nice.
Really like this one because like you get drawn into the darkness, the shadow of the trees, but then the clouds just kind of push you up through the clouds.
Yes. Yeah, that's really good. That's like just really deep and dark in there, but the clouds are, good contrast. And this is a guy that I really love his work, David Gloman. I hope you follow him on Instagram. All the names are in the email. And it's just a, quick watercolor study that just has mood and atmosphere. Just barely recognize it as subject matter, but you just feel like everything is floating around. That's how I feel about it. Now, we talked about Lena Revo, and I grabbed a couple of her paintings here. She's a great one for capturing this sense of time and the ephemeral in her work. I can't stand that big red signature, but she's a really just an exquisite painter with gouache and captures the sparkle of light, like we saw that in Allie's painting. And this is kind of what I was talking about, this almost randomness of the sparkling white. Beautiful painting. And here's another one by Lena Revo. This is a gouache painting.
It's hard to believe that both of those are done by the same artist.
Oh, yeah. Well, this is you're right. This is more typical of her work. This is a little more, the hot color's hotter. But again, I love that staccato line at the bottom of the painting to the right. It looks like a brown color. It kind of skips across the surface.
Sorry, I interrupt. Maybe you know, maybe you don't. She has a online course
Oh, yeah.
on gouache.
Yeah.
It's excellent. It's excellent. It's not cheap.
Did you do it? Did you do the course?
I did.
Okay. Okay, we got a recommendation here. So if you look at her work, find her website, RIVO, and consider the course. I'm a good teacher, but I can't teach you everything, right? Okay. And this guy is someone I follow on Instagram now. San Million. I think it's Carlos San Million. It's called Nocturne Garden. Very simple. It's called Nocturne Garden. It's acrylic on paper, and it's really just about a feeling of mood and atmosphere. Walking through a garden or someone's backyard, maybe, but.
Yeah.
Beautiful work. Another one of my favorite Instagram artists is Andrew Cranston. This is called I Know What I Saw. So what did he see?
We saw a deer. A deer, yeah.
Yeah. And I assume that's the back of his head. But it's nighttime. It looks like it's dusk, you know, if you walk around the park here at dusk, you think you see a deer in the woods and they're not sure because they blend in so much, especially now. But it has that feeling of you're peering into the woods and you think you see something. Now, one thing that is interesting about him, I followed him for a long time, but I think he's pretty sure he's in the Bay Area, but he paints on book covers. So he gets old hardback books and cuts off the hard cover of it and shellacks it and paints on it, on the shellac. I don't know why you wouldn't just buy a panel, but what you do get a sense of that if you look around the edges, especially on the left edge here, that it's painted on a pre-existing object that has its own history and story, unlike a panel from Dick Blick. So it does bring something to the work. And he might do that because it triggers something in his imagination when he's painting. Okay, this is a weird one, but I had to include it. Very different feeling than all the other pieces I'm showing you, but what's more ephemeral and transitory than a nude swim in the lake? And I don't know what the story is or anything, but it's a very kind of Rousseau, remember Henry Rousseau says that kind of obsessiveness about the foliage, and it's a triptych. I don't have any information except the name, Ben Sledson's, but as a triptych, I imagine it's rather large.
The jeans on this one almost pulled me out of it.
The what now?
The jeans.
Yeah, the jeans.
The jeans and the shoes are a little out of place, and then you're like looking around, you're like, oh, it's a hard stop there.
Yeah, that's true. That's like an amateur feel to it. Deliberate or not, I don't know.
But I do really like this.
Yeah, strange painting. And this is a guy called David Sharp. It's called Windy Hill. It sort of groups better with some of the earlier landscapes I showed you, but it's like a windy day, and he really uses the impasto of the paint, right, especially in the center of the painting, to get this feeling of coarseness, and you just get the feeling that it's like a cold, windy day, right? And you don't want to hang around too long.
That water line is pretty cool too.
Yeah. It captures the light reflecting on the water boldly with either thick impasto paint, whether a knife or a brush. But it really feels alive, like the painting's breathing. Okay, this is a beautiful painting. It's some kind of Russian name I won't even try to pronounce. Half Moon Over the River from 2022. It's a lot more. I put this one in because it's so beautiful. And this is what so many of you are painting. You're painting your cottage on the lake or something along those lines. And that's fine, but you want to find ways to make it exceptional. And this one does that. You know, it looks like a Michigan lake, doesn't it? A little lake and one of those docks that we always see. and a couple little lights from cottages across the lake. And it does not feel like a commercial illustration to me. It feels like a painting, and I love it. And that moonlight is not going to be there long, just for momentarily.
Yeah.
Now this, I'll bet, maybe you can read the signature, but I fell in love with these watercolors quite a while back, and you'll never guess, very famous artist did them, but he was a very famous sculptor, Rodin. You know Rodin, the famous bronze sculptor in France, and okay.
Yep.
And he did a lot of these little watercolors of the figure. And they just captivate me. It wasn't just me and my friends. We always looked at them, pencil with watercolor. And on Friday night, figured I'm going to start doing this.
Mm.
It's harder than it looks to get this. But, you know, models, there's talk about the ephemeral, like try life drawing. I'm sure you all have, but things move. Even though the model's holding still, there's a sense of transitoriness. And you feel that in the way he put the paint on the hair too, like it's dissolving. Her hair is dissolving. And the line, the graphite pencil line, is tenuous and searching.
Mm-hmm.
I think you can guess this artist. The style is so distinctive. It's called The Kiss from 1894.
Chagall.
What?
Chagall.
No, that's pretty good, but Munch.
Ah.
Brush and pencil, Kiss. Now, what's more transitory than a kiss? I mean, if it's not too brief, it's going to become gross, but I think he captures that here.
That's great.
Somebody's laughing. Okay. I think he captures that. It's the way he uses the line, if you know Munch, and expressionist work, but it's a little weird the way their necks basically blends together, but it does capture something transitory, I think. And here's another one. Were you going to say something, Patrick?
Are these images, can we access these images later after this is over?
I don't know, but I'll get it to you. All right, let me think about it.
With me uploading the videos, eventually you do get access to them. I can upload this one sooner, and it'll be online starting on Thursday.
No rush on it. I was just a general question.
But also, Patrick, in the email, I provide at the bottom of the email a list of all the artists' names and the names of the work.
Okay.
They can find them that way with a search.
Perfect. Thank you.
All right. And
Didn't mean to interrupt.
also, look, it looks like it's a page torn out of a sketchbook. Again, it's that feeling of something that wasn't meant to last. And now this is Sheila. Remember Edgar Schiele? I think I'm saying it right. Egon Schiele. He was famous for that Kiss painting. If you remember that, not the one I just showed you, obviously, but a different one. But this is just a very simple drawing called Sleeping Couple. Pencil on paper. And look how little, how many lines you could count. And it just captures and it says so much about intimacy. It's not, there's no real narrative. We don't know, he doesn't tell us anything about the people really, just, I don't know. Sometimes it's just the simplicity of line and the great big empty spaces that capture something like this.
The empty space, if you'll allow me, would be filled with abstract decoration or various decorative gold embeddings. In the case of his friend and mentor Klimt, it would be exactly the same kind of composition with a very fine line, a bit of figurative touch, and the rest of it would be just abstract decoration.
Mm-hmm.
If you think about Klimt,
Klimt, yeah. Yeah, right. Well, you know, it's making me think of the Rodin here that I said I love so much. But and I tried Friday night at Figure Drawing to do some very simple line drawings, and it was just the night was a total disaster for me. But I'm gonna keep at it. And okay, I don't have too many more, but I have three that I want to show you. This artist is the definition of the ephemeral in painting. And a lot of people don't like them. They don't get it. This is one of the more accessible works, but it's Edwin Dickinson, American painter, late around the turn of the century, early 1900s. East Coast painter that I was introduced to in grad school. We looked at him a lot, and we looked at him for this very quality of just capturing what seems to be changing. You do get a sense of this here, like in the clouds, they're just kind of brushed in. And it took me a long time to like his work. I adjusted this one, which in Photoshop, which maybe I shouldn't have done. I think it's more like this, is what it really looks like. Edwin Dickinson, probably one of these little New England towns.
I love this.
Yeah, dreamlike, just dreamlike.
Harmony in grays.
Yeah. Very subtle relationships of value and temperature of color. But look at that little dash of green. You see that? I just noticed that at the window. I didn't see that until just now.
Like a viridian.
Yeah. And one more, Edwin Dickinson.
Ooh.
Two rocks. It's a painting he did of two rocks. Now, who would do that and why? And I think it's the whole painting. I think it's very small because you can see he scraped into it around the edges. But rocks, they do show us time passing. It takes a long time, but rocks are out there in the weather for an eternity, aren't they? And they experience the wear and tear of the weather. So fireworks. This is called Small Fireworks 2004 by Norbert Schankowski. He's an interesting living painter if you want to look him up. Kind of on an illustration side, but this one they announce their arrival and they're very captivating. But as soon as you feel like you want to freeze them and enjoy their beauty, but they just dissolve right in front of your eyes. This is a cool thing. I came across a study, an oil study.
The sergeant. Who is it?